A few days ago, an American preacher called Benny Hinn was invited by the government of Kenya to come and preach. Now, this already on its own is very disturbing that an entire government would go to a foreign country, import a preacher to come and propagandize its own population with the worst sort of propaganda. And basically, what the West teaches through their Christian version of religion is that the mzungu is in fact God. And they've set up very many statues all over this country and all over African countries of a European that Africans worship as their God. Like there are statues everywhere. So, in its wisdom, the UDA government decided to invite a discredited American preacher to come and remind people that the mzungu is in fact God and is the one who's closest to God, and it is only through the mzungu that you can enter, of course, the mzungu heaven. Of course, the other side is the Arab heaven. But let's focus on what happened during this massive crusade. Now, during this crusade, the entire government of Kenya was there to receive and, even more disturbing, worship this mzungu. And when I say worship, I literally mean that. When you look at this video, you can see that this gentleman who is kneeling is the vice president of Kenya as of 2024. Now, I want you to think, this is the vice president of a government kneeling in front of a mzungu, worshipping the mzungu. Because kneeling is an act of worship. Bowing down is also an act of worship. So we have an image of an African man kneeling in front of a mzungu man. I want you to think about that. Think of the optics of what we are seeing right now. Think how embarrassing and ridiculous this is. And there is precedence for this. When you look at this other video, you can see this is a video of Abraham Lincoln standing, and there's an African quote-unquote slave kneeling in front of him in gratitude and in worship. I want you to think of that imagery again. And you can see that these are black Americans demanding that this statue be pulled down because it is unacceptable. It is embarrassing and humiliating. I want you to think, have you ever seen an image of a Japanese, a Chinese, or any other person on earth kneeling in front of a mzungu? Have you ever seen that? So here we have a statue meant to denigrate and humiliate black people in America. But the black Americans, they have enough sense to demand that it be removed. But yet in 2024, we are having a vice president of an African country reenacting this humiliation in front of a mzungu. This is where we are in 2024. And the irony is that this vice president claims to be Mau Mau. No Mau Mau man that I know worth his salt would kneel in front of a mzungu and worship the mzungu. Because they had enough sense to know that the mzungu is the number one enemy. And this just shows you how hopeless the situation is for African men. That the only thing that African men want is to kneel down and worship a mzungu, is to kneel down and kiss a mzungu's ass. That's it. You suggest anything else, they will fight you to the end. But this is the nature of slaves. Slaves are out here to worship their master, whoever their master is, whatever they consider their master to be. They're on their knees, and that's why Africa can never stand up, because African men are perpetually on their knees, worshipping a mzungu, an Arab, a Chinese, or whatever the heck is the latest god that they are worshipping. This is embarrassing, humiliating, and unacceptable. And guess what? The entire nation cheered this absurdity. Except for me. I'm the one person who's complaining.